Yo, what's going on, you guys? Mansurge here. Welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to be doing another PC build. For this PC build, we're going to be spending $750 on a budget gaming PC that can allow you to get 60 frames per second on high to ultra settings in current AAA titles and AAA titles coming out in the near future. So let's just get right into the components that I chose. So let's just start off with the processor. For the processor, I went with an Intel i5 6500 clocked at 3.2 gigahertz. Is a quad-core processor, and a lot of you guys are probably going to be wondering why I didn't go with the 6600K, and the reason being is just because we had to cut corners somewhere, and go with a 6500 Skylake over a 6600K Skylake just for the overclocking ability, in my opinion, wasn't really worth it. And for $750, you're still going to be getting those good frame rates with this processor, so it really is a bad processor for the money. Moving on to the CPU cooler, we're going to go with the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. Now I know we're overclocking this processor, but you're still going to want something to keep it cool while it's running these games at such high settings with such good FPS, and the Cooler Master is the way to go in my opinion. Moving on to the motherboard, we didn't need a motherboard that could support very high overclocking, especially with this processor, because it really can't be overclocked. At least it's not meant to be overclocked. I'm sure that you could figure out a way how to do it, but since we're really not intending to do that, this motherboard was fine. I went with the Gigabyte GA H170D3HP ATX motherboard for $95, or you could use the mail-in rebate at $87.98 on Newegg. So for the RAM, I went 2 sticks of 4GB DDR4 2133 Kingston HyperX Fury Black, and 8GB is enough to run most AAA titles now, and I can see 8GB being enough to run games like that in the future. Star Wars Battlefront, for example, recommends 16GB of RAM, but you can run it fine at 8GB of RAM without really any performance issues or a lack of performance from 16 gigs. So moving on to the storage, I went with a Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB 7200 RPM hard drive. You could always trade in an SSD or add an SSD with this, but for around $50 you're going to want to go with the Western Digital Caviar Blue because it is probably the best deal out there, and it is a trustworthy hard drive and a very, very fast hard drive. Moving on to one of the most important components in a gaming rig, the graphics card. So for the graphics card, I was trying to find a graphics card that would perform very, very well, be able to run games at high to ultra settings, and complement the i5 6500 processor that we're throwing in this build. But the GTX 970 was too much, and the R9 380 was lacking performance a little bit, and I was kind of looking for an in-between. Since the R9 380 outperforms the GTX 960, I was going to go with that, but then I found the Asus R9 380X 4GB video card. This card goes for around $250, and it performs between the R9 380 and the GTX 970, and it does do very, very good with graphics and stuff like that, so it is a really good deal at $250, or if you take advantage of mail-in rebates, $233 at Newegg. So moving on to the case, we have the Corsair 200R ATX mid-tower case. This case does not have a window, and the reason for that is because you had to cut corners, and you could go for a windowed case and it would only cost you a few bucks more, but for the power supply we went with an EVGA 600B 600 watt 80 plus bronze certified non-modular power supply. So that's another reason I didn't go with a windowed case, because the cables aren't going to be as neat or as cable managed as it could be with a modular power supply. So all this totaled out to be $764.81 without mail-in rebates, and $710.79 with mail-in rebates. So depending on where you shop, what deals you get, and what mail-in rebates you take advantage of, you can get this computer for as cheap as $710 or at most $765. So for that price, it really is a very good gaming PC, and you can expect to run games on ultra settings at 60 frames per second. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, be sure to drop a like. If you guys didn't really enjoy this video, be sure to hit the dislike button so I know what kind of videos to make in the future. If you guys have anything that you would have changed, any components in the computer, or any recommendations for further videos, any builds that you guys want to see, or anything like that, just comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think of this video and everything like that. And if you guys are new, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It's Mansurge. I'll catch you guys in my next video, and I'm out of you guys. Peace.